What's up, everybody? AK-47's here from Central Texas Powersports, and today we are not riding this Sea-Doo GTI SE 130. We're riding the Yamaha R3. R3 has this Yoshimura R3 slip-on it. Makes it sound real nice. Bike has 2 miles on it. I've already warmed it up for you. That way you don't have to sit here and suffer through the warm-up process. How nice am I? It fires right up just as a new bike should. Alrighty, so over here on the left side you have the flash to pass, high beam, low beam, turn signals, horn on the right side, kill switch, electric start. Very basic. We're about to take this baby out and give her some miles. Give her some road. Oh my goodness gracious. Holy crap. Unbelievable handling already. Let's do this. Oh, okay. Definitely not bad power for what it is. Oh, I could see this thing being a fantastic beginner bike. Yeah, this thing could be a fantastic beginner bike. Okay, so up here on the left of the instrument cluster over here, you have your turn signal light, your high beam light, and your neutral light. Then you have 2 buttons down here. One of them's the reset button, the other one's the switch through the mode thing. So you have the odometer. It has 3 miles on it, brand new off the showroom floor. You have trip 1, trip 2, full trip, miles per gallon, average miles per gallon, and back to the odometer. So you got quite a few little things to play with there. Then you have the tachometer, which is analog, but the speedometer is over here and it's digital. Inside the tachometer over here on the top, you have a fuel gauge, which is very nice, especially on a beginner bike. Very nice to have. On the bottom of it, you have your temperature, your bike temperature, in a gauge from cold to hot, you know. And then in the middle of that, you have your clock. On the right side of it, you have your gear indicator in the top left, your speedometer on the top right, and then the bottom part of that area over there is your odometer, trip meter, etc., etc. Take this thing on the highway. This thing is so light, holy cow. Alright, so 75 speed limit right now, and we're there in 6th gear at 8,000 RPM. Red line is at 12,500 RPM. So it can do highway speeds easily, as a 300 should. Yeah, I'm doing the speed limit at 75 up here, and I'm doing it no problem. I mean, you can feel it's kind of nearing the top of the gearing, you know, it's or the top of the revs, you know, it's at 8,000 out of, you know, 12 and a half. So it's about 2/3 the way up the revs, but you know, it seems to be doing it just fine. I'll tell you right now that this bike is more comfortable than a Ninja 250 and a CBR 250. And it feels like it handles better than a Ninja 250 and a CBR 250. So all of those things it has going for it. very nice to have a gas gauge on a beginner bike like this. Many of the beginner bikes do not have gear indicators, I believe, so it's nice that this one has one. I'm finding it very useful on a beginner bike like this because you're shifting a lot more. So I'm finding it very useful to know where I'm at in what gear so I can, you know, shift accordingly to keep it, you know, where I want the bike to be, if that makes sense. Like, you're shifting a lot more, so you could lose track of your gear a lot easier on a bike where you shift a lot more than another bike. But I'm in 6th gear doing 70 miles per hour, and I wasn't even trying to get there. Like, it's just there, and it's doing fine. So, you know, it can definitely do highway speeds, especially because most highway speeds throughout the United States are either 55, 60, or 65. And this bike will easily do 70 miles per hour. So that should be a very, very good statement for what this bike can do. So if you're worried about this bike not being able to do highway because it's such a new, like, beginner bike, do not worry at all. Just don't worry. There's 0. There's 60. So, very, very good bike so far. Didn't take that much time to get to 60, and got there in 4th gear, I believe, or just at the beginning of 4th gear, end of 3rd gear. So I mean, it really is not a bad bike, and it has plenty of power, and you can speed up really quickly. You know, for all of you guys over in the UK, just like my buddy Jay over there, that are looking for like starter bikes because you guys have the rule that you have to start on like a 125 or something around there, or like a 250 or a 300. I can't remember what the exact rules are, depending on your age or experience or whatever the rules over there. This is a fantastic starter bike that I know that you guys can ride these over there. So if you have the chance to buy one of these, I would definitely give you the thumbs up of approval to start on one of these bikes. It is very, very thin as well. So where you are able to lane split and go through traffic like you are in the UK, and you can go through traffic up to the front of the lights or whatever, and that's like a normal thing for motorcycles and scooters and whatnot to do over there. This will be a very good bike for that because it's very, very thin. Just fold the mirrors in a little bit and it's very thin. The suspension feels great. It is very good suspension. It does not have any kind of like really super stiff suspension or anything. Like, you know, I barely even feel that, and whatever I do feel of like the roughness of the road feels like I'm sitting in a car going over the same thing. So it really doesn't feel bad at all, and the suspension feels like it's doing a really good job. 55 miles per hour in 6th gear, we're getting mid 60s to upper 60s miles per gallon, which is very nice. Very nice. Like, you get on this bike, no matter what bike you're used to, you know, what bike you just got off of, what bikes you've just got done riding, you get on this bike and it feels like it's your own bike. You know, it's a very, very, very good feeling motorcycle, and it feels very familiar no matter what kind of bike you're used to or you just got done riding, which is a very good thing for beginner riders. Bike feels really good in the turns. Really just, it feels great. Like, I can't find something about the way that this bike feels that I don't like. It feels really, really good. You know, and at low speeds, I mean, this thing just goes back and forth and forth and forth and back and back and back. You know, it just does. Okay. Yamaha R3 2015 Oh, so yeah, so it is a 320. It's right there. But look at this bike. The front from right here, block out this, or I don't know how to do that on the camera, but you know, take from right here and go to right here, and that looks exactly like a Ducati Panigale right there. You know, when you get down lower, it doesn't, but when you're like here to here, it looks exactly like a Panigale, and that is a really, really good looking front end. Really good looking front end. I really like how the wheels, the blue wheels match the bike, the blue, you know, paint on the bike and everything. And that Yoshi R3 exhaust, that slip-on right there, it's not a full system, it's just the slip-on, but it has that chrome. It just looks so smooth and so just sleek with the body. And the muffler, the, you know, the Yoshi pipe or whatever, it comes at the same angle as the tail. And again, Yamaha with their tails comes to a point which is very aesthetically pleasing to me. I love that. Get rid of this big you know, fender thing on it, put a fender eliminator on it right here, and that the end of that bike is so clean looking. It looks really, really good. But then you got a nice heat shield down here for that Yoshi pipe. This bike just looks fantastic. It really, really does. It looks fantastic. If it wasn't so thin, and if it had like a wider tire on it, you would not be able to tell that this bike's a 300. You just wouldn't. This bike looks so much faster than it is, which is really, really nice. The only thing that I don't like, and even on this one, I actually like the silver rear sets and the little silver bolts everywhere and all that kind of stuff, because it gives it just like a, you know, really nice silver, you know, touch to it that goes with the exhaust and goes with the silver on the graphics. If the bike was all blue and black, I wouldn't like that silver. I would just want everything blacked out. But because it has this silver in the graphics here and right on the gas tank and everything, the silver accents down there and the exhaust and the chrome looks really, really nice. But the only thing that I don't like about the bike, and it's not anything to do with how it performs, is that gas tank is so thin and it's so tall. If they moved the gas tank down and then, you know, brought it out a little bit more, like if you go look at the Ninja 300 gas tank, or the, you know, CBR 250, or, you know, Ninja 250, or the Ninja 250 gas tank or whatever, the gas tanks are all shorter and wider, which gives you a little bit more for your knees to hang on to. But that's just my personal preference. There's two coworkers with me at work that actually think the really thin gas tank is a really nice feature, and it makes, you know, it just makes it feel so much thinner for a new rider who is also like either shorter or, like, you know, just likes the thin feel to it. So give you guys some revs with this exhaust over here. Fan kicks on. Okay, so it has a running light right here. You can probably change that out and put different colors in it like you can on the R6. Starts right up. Just idling, it sounds like that. .6,000 RPM. That was redline. This is a better choice for you than a Ninja 250 or a CBR 250 or one of those bikes, because this bike will do highway easily. Like, it will not struggle that hard on the highway, so you won't have to worry about blowing the motor up going 65. So get one of these bikes if you're starting out, even in the United States, but especially anywhere else where you're restricted to a weight class or an engine class. Get one of these bikes. They are freaking phenomenal. Like, I can't think of anything wrong with this thing. You know, the only thing, like I said, the only thing that I don't like is how thin the gas tank is, but that is just me. You may really like that. You may not like it, but that's just my personal opinion. So that's what I'm going to say, because that's like the only bad thing I can find. And even then, it's not a bad thing, it's opinionated. So 77 miles per hour, getting 55 miles per gallon. 57 miles per gallon, 55 miles per gallon. So at 75 in 6th gear, you're going to get 55 miles per gallon out of this bike, which is very, very good, and something that a Ninja 250 or a CBR 250 cannot do. It cannot do highway at 75 feeling this comfortable and get that kind of gas mileage. It just can't. Have no second thoughts about coming into a dealership like Central Texas Powersports here and checking this thing out, because you will not regret it. It is a fantastic bike.